exclusively on ESPN Plus. UFC 313, Saturday. Reigning light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira defends his title against number one contender Magomed Ankalaev, and an explosive lightweight bout between Justin Gaethje and Rafael Pazzi. UFC 313, Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Buy it on ESPNPlus.com/PPV.
At T-Mobile, our critical mission is providing unparalleled 5G coverage for when connectivity is mission critical. Introducing T-Priority, America's best 5G network experience for first responders, even in times of congestion. More capacity, faster speeds, better coverage. T-Priority from T-Mobile, built for tomorrow's emergencies, ready today. Discover more at t-priority.com.
For qualifying organizations on eligible rate plans, coverage not available in some areas and may be impacted by emergencies.
Hey everyone, it's Matt.
And this is Lucas,
And this is Thanks for Playing.
the podcast where we break down the most iconic video games the world has to offer.
Ho! Woo! Woo!
Marvel Rivals.
Our rivals, baby. We got Milkman. We got Lucas. You know this one's going to be a fucking banger.
Oh, it's fucking going.
I'm pretty excited. A couple housekeeping
Matt, you've gone like
items.
full influencer.
I know, right? It's practice, man. We're only like, one viral clip away from 20K, you know?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I mean, we are doing reels again.
We are.
So we're clip farming officially
Yeah,
now.
so as a reminder, everyone, follow us on at TFP Podcasts on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. That is at TFP Podcasts with an S at the end.
We're doing the promo already.
Or is our Twitter might actually be Thanks for Playing Pod. I'm not sure. I never go on our
Yeah,
Twitter.
we're not great. We're not great.
Highlight is actually somewhat active on Twitter,
Just
but I need to
DM
get him to log in again.
just ask us what it is. That'll be great.
But yeah, we got a solid guy helping us out with Reels now, which I'm very excited about. I think they're actually very solid.
Yeah.
So looking forward to
Very
that.
exciting. So we will be aura farming on this episode.
Yes. First big question for me, Chambers.
Oh yeah.
How's Disco Elysium going?
Okay, I'm only on my second or third day, and I'm really enjoying the game. I've taken a few days off of it, but I hate that I get forced into making choices that I don't want to make.
Give me an example.
Okay, so basically I know that I have to do something about I'm forgetting his character name, but the second
Harry?
racist guy that he's this buff racist guy.
Oh yeah.
Is he the union guy?
Yeah, he's basically
He's like the union muscle.
he's
basically.
he's blocking the scabs from coming in. And basically you can either pretend to also be racist for him to let him in, or you can just be physically strong enough that you can beat the fuck out of him and get out of the way. And I've already built my character to be very anti-racist and like borderline militantly communist. And so I don't want to backpedal on that in order to get through this guy, but that's my only choice because I put 0 strength points in my character. He's just
Wait, are you upset that the game is too good at being an immersive?
Yeah, I thought I'd be able to
RPG?
just like talk my way through everything, and then I realized I have to like trade in my morality to get some things that I want and stuff.
Yeah.
And
You're just not going
It's just
to
like
see
the real world.
yes.
Yeah, you're just not going to see pretty much 80% of that game in any single playthrough. Like
That's what I've already
so-
realized. Yeah.
yeah,
Where
you just have to push through.
Yeah, I've realized
whatever
like
it is that you
certain
build.
like things will pop up only because I have that stat boosted, or I won't even have there's an option I won't even see because I'm not strong enough in something.
Yeah. How do you like the art of that game?
The art,
I feel like you would dig with.
I dig the art. Yeah, it kind of looks like a visual novel or something.
Okay.
And I like all the character portraits a lot. yeah, the art style in general, the aesthetic is attractive to me.
Yeah, I thought you would particularly dig like the UI art when it comes to like stats and stuff. Like
Yeah.
when you I don't even know how to explain it. Just like not the art, like the diegetic art style in like the story or like the game itself, but like the extra stuff in like the menus.
Yeah, like you'll even
and
have
everything.
little stats that you can level up, and each one has a little like well illustrated icon for it and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, the UI is interesting.
I just had to look up diegetic.
Matt, we've talked about diegetic on this podcast.
I forgot.
Means you're on a diet.
How are you? Where are you at with the voice acting of the narrator?
The deep voice thing,
The deep voice guy.
yeah, he's cool. It's a good like background voice. If there's something I need to know about that guy, I don't know anything about.
No, it's just the narrator.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
just the narrator.
I'm satisfied. The voice acting in general, and I would say the character design or the character of the characters is very, very like deep. It feels like like my partner feels like a real person that has like little wrinkles in his personality and stuff, and I kind of feel that way with a lot of the characters.
Okay, hell
I'm
yeah.
looking forward to the. I'd honestly be willing to maybe, if I have time, play some
Might
of
have
that
to play
game
through it.
again and
Yeah.
do another re-review. Real quick, what I've been trying to play anyways, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh yeah,
So I gotta say, I think with this game specifically, I'm officially kind of PC master race.
Oh wow.
It is, to be fair,
because the frame rate thing.
the frame rate
situation.
is, and this is a very unique situation because Rockstar just refuses to release like a patch or an updated version for Red Dead 2. It's the PS4 vanilla version that I'm playing on my PS5. It is so fucking like choppy, and I feel like so much latency. It's my biggest pet peeve with third-person games where I feel like I move my analog stick and then half a second, and then my character moves, right?
Yeah.
And the frame rate is locked at 30 FPS, and it just looks kind of honestly fuzzy almost,
Yeah.
and not even that good.
I hate fuzzy games.
And so because I got it on sale on the PlayStation, it was like $15. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna eat this cost. And then I bought it on my Steam account, and now I'm playing at like 100 FPS, like 120 FPS maxed out
Yeah,
settings, and it's
dang.
fucking beautiful.
So I got a counterpoint.
mm,
Sorry, you done? I got a counterpoint here.
I guess so.
Okay.
he stopped you.
The PC Master Race thing, I feel you on that, but when I've played Marvel Rivals, I have not had to load a single shader.
I will give you
A lot of my PC friends can't say the same thing.
I can't say that as a master.
Yeah.
Race guy.
Let me rephrase that. I'm maybe not so much PC Master Race because I do love just sitting on my couch and playing a video game, which is why I'm upset that Red Dead's so bad on this. Perhaps better to say I'm an FPS whore now.
Okay. Wait,
Yeah,
you're
frame
FP.
Frame rate
You're
whore.
frames per second. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
It was disgustingly bad. And,
Chambers, what are you doing?
I'm putting hand cream on. I got dry hands.
Okay, you just showed the camera. Okay, he's just showing the camera. Are you guys loading shaders in this podcast like window right now on Google Chrome, or is everybody
Maybe.
okay? Okay, because some of our friends are taking a long time to load in. Because Matt, the game that we're talking about here today,
Everyone, we are talking about Marvel Rivals.
What a transition.
that's right,
I know.
8 out of 10 from IGN, 73 out of 100 on Metacritic, 2.5 out of 5 on Games Radar.
Really?
A whopping, kind of surprising, 74 out of 100 on Metacritic. The new-ish Marvel-themed 6v6 hero shooter, Marvel Rivals. Boys, I think this episode is a little overdue. I think we've been playing this game for a couple
sure.
months now.
Mm-hmm.
We typically lag behind on the games where, we like to digest our games. We don't like initial first reactions. And I think across all of us, we got to have like 100 hours played in this game at this point,
Oh
right?
yeah, collectively.
Well
for
over?
sure.
Yeah. We've been getting this game in on our Wednesday game nights with the boys, really getting after it. Some of us have really climbed the ranks, including, he's not on this episode, but MC Fried, Abel, left us a kind voice memo, which we're going to play later, which I haven't heard yet. And he's like plat or diamond already. Some crazy high rank within like the span of a month or two. And he told me he's been playing since
Does he play on
3 a.m.
PC?
He is playing on Xbox.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, no shaders are loading for him. They already their shaders don't exist on Xbox.
And no
which is
good
crazy.
players because he's on console.
And no good players. I want to. It's a misconception, but we'll get to that.
Okay. We'll get
Because
to
how are people? What about the guy that just plays on his controller on PC? How's that different?
that guy's at a disadvantage. That's what he's doing.
But people do that though.
I know they do, but the pros aren't
And they're
doing
wrong.
that.
Some pros probably do that though.
I'm telling you, I know. I have a friend that wants a GM on Xbox, and he would not get to GM on PC. I can tell you that right now. But that would be like me getting to GM. And
Okay,
I'm
fine.
not GM.
We'll put a pin in that for now.
Yeah.
But boys, I want to hear your initial thoughts. It's a big game, massive game. We've talked about it a lot leading up to this episode over the last few months. Matt, hit me, baby. What do you think of this game?
I feel like when I play this game, my brain gets a little bit smoother each time, and I'm kind of okay with it. Every time I fire it up, when I'm just like pointing and clicking with Scarlet Witch and just holding down my left mouse button and killing people, I'm like, man, this is so easy, but why is it fun? And it's really fucking fun, and I can't really put my finger on it why. I think there's a lot of things that contribute to that, where one, I mean, Marvel's been kind of in the shitter recently. I don't think anyone can argue against that. However, I think we all
Brave
have
New World?
a lot of
Red Hulk.
I didn't see it.
the new Captain America
Talking
that's
about the
apparently
book.
cheeks.
Yeah. I'm optimistic for Thunderbolts, but
I am not. I was actually a little optimistic for Brave New World, and now
I know
I've
you
lost
were,
it all.
yeah.
I actually thought the trailer looked cool, and I was like, Black Captain America, maybe tackling some like racial issues on why he maybe can't be Captain America because of that, and I don't think they got into that a little bit in
well, that's what like
Falcon
the
and Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier was about, though.
Yeah,
There's a
and
lot
then
of that.
then they just apparently the movie's just not about that at all. It's just ass.
I've heard
Apparently-
it's basically just a repackaged Winter Soldier, like a political thriller type thing.
Yeah, except worse.
And apparently because they went through so many rewrites, and apparently Giancarlo Esposito was supposed to be the big bad, and he's only in it for like 20 minutes now or something.
Yeah,
that's whack.
So they just
that's the
went
guy
Harrison
that says
Ford
we
Hulk.
are not the same,
Mhm.
right? In the meme.
Oh, really?
That's Giancarlo Esposito, right?
Is it?
That is him.
Look this up.
You guys know you do this.
Yeah.
I do this,
He's
we're
in
not the same.
Breaking
Oh,
Bad.
Yeah.
Breaking
Yeah,
Bad.
yeah.
Breaking
He's
Bad guy. Yeah.
But I don't know where the image is. The "we are not the same" image is from. No, I can't. Remember.
Honestly, it could be any of his characters because he plays the same character every time.
he plays the
Yeah.
same kind of like
Plays the
mildly
same
evil
villain.
guy every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But continue, Matt. I'm sorry, I interrupted
I
by
don't
talking
know.
about.
I don't even know where I was going. So I think what it really does is tap in just to like that kind of primal, smooth brain of like Marvel's cool. I like comic books. X-Men First Class is a great movie. I think it's really tapping into that for me.
This is a very
still on that.
Matt-centric opinion.
Review so far. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think in the context in which we're playing it, once or twice a week with the boys, I think it's a really fucking fun game. I think it has good variety in the characters. I think it does a good job of staying true to character designs from the comics. And I think it does a really good job of just capitalizing on nostalgia for a better time with Marvel, probably, right?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
And what I'll give it a lot of credit for is I honestly, because I remember I saw trailers for this game, and I'm probably on record somewhere in this podcast saying how fucking stupid it looks, and how
sure
we
I
don't
said the
need
same thing.
another
Hero shooter.
And I honestly, I don't really care for hero shooters that much. I haven't played that many, but I didn't really care for Overwatch that much personally. And I know I've dabbled in some others, and they just never really stuck with me. But this one's kind of got me hooked. It makes me feel good at the game because the mechanics are so easy, I think. And it has a really great matchmaking thing where if you get sloshed, it just puts you up against bots that are incredibly
Yeah,
bad and makes you
that's
try
a
to feel
good
good
one.
about yourself again, which we can get into. But, I think first, there's a lot of ways to look at a game and a lot of ways to kind of evaluate a game on a first impression. But I think one of the most important things to ask is this fun? And it is.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, Matt. I've had a lot of fun with this game lately. The first thing I thought when I booted it up was like, I wasn't sure I was gonna like it. You know, I know we had a lot of friends playing it. That was kind of my big thing, was like, a lot of friends were like, no, this game is pretty sick. Like, you should jump in, let's play. Crossplay is enabled. You know, it's like, and you know, you dive in and you kind of have to like poke around and find the right hero to play as. Like most of these games, you have to like kind of attach yourself to somebody for a little while before you could start like learning the game and enjoying it, and like learning the level a little bit. So it takes a couple of hours to like feel really, really comfortable in the game. But my number one thought when I booted it up was like, wow, this character is just like Roadhog and McCree with Bucky from the Winter Soldier. You know, it's like, oh, this is Doomfist plus Reinhardt, like a mini Reinhardt shield. Or it's like, you just immediately felt the derivativeness of Overwatch.
A lot of Frankensteining of Overwatch characters.
Exactly.
You see, I had the benefit of I really didn't play much Overwatch.
Right. I think Chambers and I have played a shitload of Overwatch. I played a lot of Overwatch 1 in the beginning, and I think Chambers has played it for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
For a split second there, I was like, what are you talking about? It's just Overwatch, because the second one had nothing different with it. I totally forgot.
There is an Overwatch 2.
I know. That's crazy. Continue.
But yeah, I mean, I think that obviously, like, all the derivativeness aside, like, the game kind of takes hold and you just start kind of getting to know characters that, you know, and you there is a point where you go like, okay, well, maybe like Winter Soldier is a little bit more interesting of a champion than like McCree was, because it's like, yeah, he is basically has like a Roadhog hook and he's got like a powerful 3-shot weapon, but his ult is like a really interesting ult with a reset on it.
Yeah.
That is way cooler than a McCree ult ever was, or a Cassidy ult if you're a newer Overwatch player. So I do think that the game starts kind of standing on its own the more you play it, which I thought was really cool. And just like the sheer amount of heroes at launch is pretty remarkable. And I know that some heroes are pretty useless right now, but like it's really only like 2 or 3 heroes. Like, they're like, how many heroes are there right now? 25?
Something like that.
I think 33.
33? Okay, yeah. See, it's
Maybe
like more than
now with,
more than you can even like
35,
count. Like Overwatch,
yeah.
there's like you launched with half of that amount, you know, and like it's kind of cool that, you know, a game can come out that has that many playable heroes and only 2 are basically unplayable. Like,
and you don't have to buy any.
Only 2 are like really not playable.
Yeah.
You know, so I admire the game for like its scope and its scale, and like I'm playing it on PS5. I have not had any technical errors. I have not had any issues with load times. I have not had any issues with queue times. I have not had to load shaders. That was not a joke earlier. It's just, but I do recognize, I do understand that is a problem for some GPUs and some PC players. So that sucks. But other than that, I think the game is very like well put together. I haven't had any performance issues, and I'm a Loki main. He's the GOAT. I think he has a really interesting ult. Obviously, it's derivative of, who is it, Echo? With the Overwatch ult?
Echo has the same exact ult.
Same exact ult, but I do think Loki's clones are kind of a really cool new, something I haven't seen in a hero shooter before that I think is like, has a high skill ceiling, and like, he's just a really interesting design outside of his very, I guess, copycat type of ult.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my initial thoughts on the game. Chambers, what do you
think? I am not someone who is like a fanboy of Marvel or anything, and like most of us, when you see a Marvel licensed game or really any sort of licensed game, you automatically assume it's probably not going to be that great, because usually they aren't. And I was one of those people that was like, oh my god, it's actually not a bad game. And I don't hate the game. I don't think I love it quite as much as you guys do. I'll get into some of those criticisms later.
I don't think I said I loved it.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I know Lucas really likes it.
I like it. I really like it.
Abel likes it a lot.
I like it.
A lot of people in the Discord are big fans, and among our friend group. But I love the freshness that this brings to the genre, which I was not anticipating. This is a genre that's been pretty stale for a long time. It's pretty much just been Overwatch and Overwatch 2, which is like a shitty copy of Overwatch, and then this happened. And I was amazed like how many characters there were, how many there's a lot of copying of Overwatch, but there's also like a lot of cool, fresh ideas on how characters can work. There's team ups, like all these new mechanics, and that's what I'm most excited about this game. And what overwhelmed me initially, but I've grown used to it now, is just the sheer amount of new concepts brought into this genre. Whether it's with stages, characters, team ups, all these types of things that I hope they're gonna roll out like more and more as the game goes on. But
yeah. No, I agree with you. I think for every idea that was stolen from another game, there's actually a new idea that you probably have not seen.
Yeah.
Like Jeff, super interesting character, like super interesting ult to me.
Yeah.
Right. And like, like I said, like Loki's clones to me are super interesting. Like Winter Soldier's ult, super fucking cool.
Yeah.
Right. But like Magneto's ult, kind of not that interesting. Like Iron Man's ult, not that interesting. Like these are like, there's a lot of stuff that's just kind of like Star-Lord, also a very uninteresting ult, right?
Yeah.
It's like basically Soldier 76's ult, but he's flying. So it's just like there are a lot of those in it, but then for all those ideas, there are like really fresh things like team up abilities, or like, the fact that like Rocket can give infinite ammo to like two different heroes using like a team up ability, and like I don't know. I think that there's just like enough. The other thing too that I noticed is like a lot of the heroes are fun to play against for the most part too. Like that's like kind of a big deal when it comes to like really any multiplayer game, is like something has to be fun to use and fun to play with, but it also has to be like have enough room on the other end as the opponent that you can play against it well enough. And like I do find it really cool when like a Star-Lord ults, and then in defensive, like as a way to defend it, like an Invisible Woman ults.
Yeah.
And now like the entire thing is just completely neglected. Everyone's invisible. Whoa, I didn't realize like we could do that now. Like
Totally.
I thought that was like Invisible Woman's ult is like super sick to me, although it's very frustrating to play against, but it could be just a really interesting like counterplay option.
Yeah. They do a really good job of balancing like Scarlet Witch, for example, too, where her ult, if you can get it off, it's really fucking good if you do it in a crowd, but there's ample opportunities to stop her, whether it's someone just killing you, or I cannot tell you how many fucking times I've gotten netted by a penny spider,
a Penny Parker.
Oh,
Penny
yeah.
Parker.
Stuns you
me.
mid ult.
Yeah. Real quick, Chamber and Lucas, both of you, what other notable hero shooters are there really? I mean, I can't even think of one besides
TF2
Wait,
is like
Apex
the
fall into
I
that
played
category? Or TF2, sure.
I played a little bit of TF2 before I dove into Overwatch originally, and then there was another hero shooter. They've kind of come and gone as the years have really gone by. There was that one that was like the 3D one by Epic Games, or like the third person one that I can't remember the name of, honestly.
Well, there's the one we talked about the other week too, apparently, that came out from the guys that did
Concord.
Not Concord.
But I'll have to look it up anyway.
Well, if you count things outside of this like specific type of hero shooters, like there's Apex and Valorant, which are like,
I was gonna say, I guess Valorant is a hero shooter
That's
too.
yeah, obviously that's more of a Counter-Strike like way of the game plays, but you're not escorting a payload or something, but it's still like different characters with abilities rather than classes or weapon pickups.
Yeah, the games I was thinking of was Paladins and Battleborn.
Yeah, and those games kind of flopped.
Those are big. Yeah, they were big, but then they flopped, I guess is the way to put it. But yeah, one thing I did want to say that I was waiting for game design, but I do want to get it out now, get this take out now. It's the irony is that I think everyone dives into this game for the first time and has that initial thought of like, oh, this feels a lot like Overwatch. Oh, there's a lot of things taken from Overwatch. But like Overwatch stole so many of its ideas from Team Fortress 2. Like that was like so clear when that game first came out. Like Mercy in Overwatch is literally just the medic from Team Fortress 2. And like the scout from Team Fortress, Tracer is the scout from like Overwatch, except instead of a double jump, it's like a dash. It's like there was always these things. Like there was a Junkrat. Junkrat was stolen from another character in Team Fortress 2. It's just like, I don't know. These games for years have all kind of like, these team-based shooters all have basically like they're just deriving from each other with like while polishing the genre a little bit more at a time. And obviously, like, the big benefit here with Marvel Rivals is that it's very IP, prioritizing like the IP-ness of it, and like the penis of it, you know, because it's like
Parker.
This is it's obviously a hero shooter, but more importantly, it is a Marvel game, which I think is like the most necessary thing that's making it successful.
Oh yeah, so many 12-year-olds on this,
dude, and also like if you think about like like that's a good point, Chambers. Like the 12-year-olds, a 12-year-old when Overwatch came out, they were like 4. So like in their head, Overwatch is like the old man game.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, my uncle plays Overwatch. Why would I play? Like I'm playing this new Marvel game.
Yeah.
Because like I just watched the new Marvel TV show on Disney Plus. Like there's nothing drawing a lot of like younger audiences to games like Overwatch because they've been around for like since they were basically before they were even able to play video games. Like these 14, 15-year-olds. Overwatch came out when they were like 6. It's mind-blowing.
I was like 19 or something when Overwatch came out. I was in college.
Yeah. So why should we expect these like kids to go like, oh, this character feels like Roadhog? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like that's all new to them.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not saying that's like the target audience, but you know, there is a giant portion that's like downloading this game on their PlayStation and like playing with their friends, just like they're doing with like a lot of games.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's worth noting. It's like it's a new idea to somebody that's like never been exposed to this genre before.
Yeah.
This is like the first entry for a lot of kids.
Yeah, this genre needed something new to shake it up and bring people back into it because it's really been dying. Blizzard hasn't been doing a good job in maintaining like a good player base. Yeah.
And,
yeah, you're right.
And to be clear, to be clear too, like when we jumped on Overwatch, Chambers, like what 8 or 9 years ago, there were people that felt the same way about Overwatch because they played Team Fortress 2, which like came out in like 2006 or 2007.
And I never played TF2 before. I was one of those new people.
Yeah, I didn't play a lot of TF. I played some in high school. I didn't play enough, and then when Overwatch came out, it just completely eclipsed it. But like all the ideas that were present in that game, which then got ported or lifted, stolen, borrowed by Blizzard to make Overwatch, all the Team Fortress heads were probably like, "Yo, like guys, we've been on this." Like, and a lot of those people became like pro Overwatch players later. Mm-hmm. So now it's just the next cycle of like the next big hero shooter with more polish and like a large player base.
Yeah, all of the biggest like Overwatch YouTube creators and streamers like have all moved over to this game too. Like if you want to find like tier lists for Overwatch 2, it's not around anymore because all those guys are now like Marvel Rivals people.
They're aura farming.
They are, bro.
Okay, I just wanted to get that take out there. Cool. We have a when did it click, but are we past that?
I think we passed that.
Yeah. Okay, we're past that. Story and world. Are we going to care about this category at all? I do want to say there is lore in this game. Apparently, this is a time entanglement event that we're playing in.
I didn't know that
in this game.
No one
basically,
made that clear to me.
Dr. Doom went back in time to like meet himself or something like that, and basically caused a time entanglement event. And it's basically just the excuse that Marvel had to create to like have all of these characters clash and have it be quote unquote canon.
What excuse do they need? It's so easy. It's just the multiverse.
Yeah, well, it is exactly. Well, the multiverse happened because this is a time entanglement event. Matthew, Jesus.
Are we gonna? What are the fucking TVA? Is the TVA gonna show up?
Is that the time? Is that from Deadpool?
Or yeah, Deadpool and the Loki show.
Yeah, those people. Yeah, they're gonna show up. Yeah. I mean, who cares? It's just like. You don't even really need to say any of that, and it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Marvel. I do like though. Like I was thinking about this the other day, Chambers. How like, we talk about lore a lot on this podcast because we love. We're officially a lore. We're a lore podcast, and like I was like, oh man, yeah, like Winter Soldier is like McCree, but McCree probably has cooler. I keep calling him McCree, but Cassidy, whatever. Yeah. He probably has cooler lore. And I'm like, wait, this is Winter Soldier. This character is like decades older.
Yeah, he has all the lore built into him.
He actually has way more lore. He like every character in this game has like 10 times more lore than any character in any team-based shooter.
Yeah.
Because like these characters have actually been around since like the 80s, the 60s. Like they've been around for like way longer.
Yeah.
So I do think it's like there's such a big component where like they're kind of cashing in on a lot of like of the lore of these characters in a way that a lot of other hero shooters can't really do. They have to like kind of build it in over time.
Yeah.
And even when you go to the hero selection screen, you could just like read the lore of certain characters and you could actually unlock like beats of their story and unlock like additional things related to their lore. And then all their skins are like have lore and like
they're from
comic
different
book storylines.
Yeah, different storylines they're part of.
Yeah. And I just think that's really sick because it's not like, hey, here's a Loki skin. It's like, no, here's like a Loki skin that's like a reference to a thing, like a storyline in the comic book from like a while ago.
Yeah.
You know? And like, I just think that adds just like that much more depth. Not that like I need that to enjoy that the skin looks cool. It's a fucking skin. Who cares? But I personally like that stuff just because I'm a lore guy.
Yeah.
And I like when I unlock the skin, reading where the skin is from.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I don't read any of those blurbs, but I like it because I'm not a lore guy.
I thought you were a certified lore guy.
I like Elden Ring lore.
Okay.
I'm in
how have you watched Vidyavati yet?
I haven't dove into that
dude.
yet. No.
You're not watching like Elden Ring, a 10-hour Elden Ring video to fall
I was
asleep to?
doing that one time during a work day and I couldn't. I had to sit in. I had to lock in too much for it. So I couldn't do it, but I'll come back to it.
I usually listen to like noise or like white noise or something when I fall asleep, but I found a YouTube channel that does like Dark Souls lore to fall asleep to.
Oh my God.
And it's just like 8
That's
hours
kinda
of like boring, like super deep lore.
If my wife could stand that, I would do that. But no, I like that there's lore built into this game because I remember like with Overwatch, they would have these stupid videos where you watch like Winston like break out of this thing or whatever. You find out that Soldier 76 dated this other character or something, and it's like I don't give a shit about that.
They were like full CGI things.
They were,
yeah.
yes.
Those were sick. Bro.
I didn't.
The
Okay,
Bastion origin story.
I guess you guys liked them. I didn't like them, but I found Overwatch specifically had some of the most cringe like fans around the lore and stuff.
Like, oh, do you know why why Soldier says that voice line to Winston in the waiting room?
Yeah, that kind of shit. You know,
I was that
people
guy,
are still beating it
sure.
to Diva, of course, but
wait, what does that have to do with lore?
Because
in Diva's lore, people do
yeah,
that. Or?
People do it in the lore. No, that would just her specifically. I annoyed me because of how horny people got, but. No, it's the lore is not really in your face in this game, and because everybody knows who most of these characters are, you don't have to do much explaining. Like we've all seen Avengers, we know who Tony Stark is, we know who Winter Soldier is. Which
it's
is
pretty intuitive. It's just in your face.
Yeah,
and not in your face, but it's just like you know the lore without knowing the lore. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone just knows who fucking Captain America is. It
Yeah.
doesn't take like lore to explain like who Captain America is. It's kind of it's yeah.
I never
already
knew
all
who
known.
Squirrel Girl was, but I can read a little paragraph now if I need to.
Or Jeff the Land Shark.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah,
who
that
he
was a new one to me too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Matt, any thoughts on lore or game? Where are we at? Game design, I guess.
Kind of. I don't even know.
We have
anymore.
not. No, this was story and world.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're on story. Yeah, my bad. I
I-
actually squeezed a lot out of that section.
Yeah, I could care less about the lore in this game. It's cool that it's there, but
You're a fan of Marvel lore though, so you are a fan of the lore.
Yeah, you
I-
love X-Men.
I'm a fan of Marvel lore. I do love X-Men, but I'm not a fan of this lore. Like I'm here to play a video game, like a mindless hero shooter.
Yeah.
Not find out why Doctor Doom put the specific iteration of the million characters into this world
Yeah,
to fight each other.
me too,
you
Matt.
know?
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. But you care that like Wolverine is here.
Sure, but that's different from lore.
Okay. But Wolverine is lore.
He doesn't care about like lore built into
bro
this
is lore.
game.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
if-
no, I know.
Or if he says
I don't-
something to a different character in a voice line.
Yeah, I don't care about the layer that they built on top to make an excuse for the game to exist.
Yeah.
But I do like that. Like Loki is a character with decades of backstory.
Yeah.
I think that's my personal take on.
Well,
that
now you
thing.
just like it because it's an established IP.
Well, yeah, but it's beyond just being like an established IP. I feel like because like realistically, it's not just like these are characters with entire overarching story arcs that like multiple artists and authors have like put a stamp on in one way or another. It's like I know it's IP and stuff, but it's like I don't know. I'm not trying to be like a IP sympathizer here, but
the function of the characters is very tied to the lore of who they are and stuff. It's not like if this was Nicktoons Rivals or something, like you would have to like figure out a way to make SpongeBob a tank in a game or something like.
Yeah, let's say this is equal and opposite of multiverses, where it's like that's all IP, but like this is actually cool. This is like IP, but it's like this game actually like talks the talk and walks the walk.
The IP slots in very smoothly with the genre of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
rather than like, hey, we have all this IP, let's find a way to build a game around it. Oh, here's multiverses, and everybody stopped playing that shit after like a few weeks.
Yeah.
It's like this is actually kind of standing the test already, except for the stupid misstep with firing all those people recently.
I
Or
wonder
letting
how
those people-
long until we get the Sonic hero shooter.
Oh my god.
I don't even know what that would be. But anyway, I wanna do us all a favor real quick and listen to Abel's
Okay.
voice memo
All right.
here real quick. I haven't listened to it yet. I was wondering if you guys would be down to check it out.
Of course.
Let's do it.
Okay, I'm gonna hit play on this. All right, Abel. This is Abel MC Fried, talking to us about his opinion on Marvel Rivals.
Hey guys, Abel here, MC Fried here. Yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit. Sad that I can't be on this episode with you guys.
We're sad too.
Because I'm having a
R.I.P.
career change in my life and everything. But
How long
I
is
did want to just spend some time to discuss how much I am loving this game. Rivals has been amazing. Anytime I get free time, I hop on, even at strange hours of the day. It's just been one of those things when I'm not playing, it's all I can really think about. And just a couple things I wanted to discuss. I think it's really funny that it's just such a hard copy of Overwatch. Like they don't even try to hide it with the art style and the mechanics and everything. And it just kind of feels like Overwatch did when that first came out, as far as player base enthusiasm, and really just things like the memes. Those have been fucking awesome too. So if, like for myself as a Magic main, I love seeing all the like psychotic fucking edits and psychotic memes for Magic. That's been really fun. And as far as negatives go, just like any hero shooter, I think the community can be quite a bit toxic, but that's really just par for the course. Especially in competitive. Like I'm in Diamond 3 right now, and I don't even think that's really a flex. I think that's kind of where a lot of like average players are right now. And the biggest challenge is that the players are just still so bad and they don't want to tank. And I think the fact that they didn't do a reset for the ranks during the middle of the season, I think that was a mistake. But honestly, I do see a path to GM. I just gotta, keep grinding. And, I really am just very surprised at like how invested I am given my open distaste for MCU content, which kind of just leaves me with something I wanted you guys to discuss. If Rivals was just a random non-IP game, would it still have the same success that it's having right now? Or does the Marvel branding kind of carry the game? And it really just feels like this game saved gaming during a really, really dark time. And I'm excited to keep playing it for a very long time. And excited to keep playing with you guys, whenever I get the chance. Catch me on Xbox, MC Fried. Let's win some games. All right, thanks guys.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
All right. One
right.
comment before we dig into the question. This is just like
We
a
saved gaming.
pet peeve of mine. I hate it when people like say like, "Oh, it saved gaming, bro." Like
We did it, bro. What do you mean we saved gaming?
We saved gaming.
like, go play mouthwashing. Go do
I know,
anything
Felix.
than fucking.
No,
call-
I'm with
yeah.
Abel on this one. We did it. We did it. Honestly, I really wasn't playing any other game like this. Like, in terms of like multiplayer games, Matt, this actually kind of has become like the thing that's bringing us together a little bit. Because what multiplayer game were we playing before?
I was
this?
still on COD personally.
Dude, COD's been out since
Dude,
December though.
I got gold on all my submachine camos and I stopped playing.
That's a lot of
Yeah.
time change.
I know.
Yeah, that is a lot of time. Holy shit! I didn't realize
Here's
you
what I'll
could
give
play
it.
on
It saved
Christmas.
multiplayer gaming. How's that?
Well, I think it did genuinely fill the gap after after COD.
Yeah.
And like there's a lot of people, COD is COD. COD is always like it's just legally mandated. We're all just always going to try it out if it's decent.
Yeah.
But like this is genuinely like I don't want to say new, but it is fresher than COD. So, I don't think there's an argument against that.
Yeah.
Is it though? I mean, it's
Matt, COD comes out every year. It's like the definition of not fresh.
I get that, but I mean, we just spent a whole section talking about how it's an Overwatch carbon copy.
Yeah, but Overwatch came out 10 years ago.
Overwatch 2 then.
Okay, it's the same thing.
I'm saying this as someone who's fairly critical of this game. While it copied a lot from Overwatch, it brought a lot of new things into this genre, and I think that should be appreciated about it.
All right.
Right.
All right.
Are we on game design yet? Oh, actually, we should talk about what Abel asked us, which was like, should
it would not be successful.
No, it would
have
not be.
gone
Yeah.
under the. It would have been like a Concord. No one would give it a shit.
It's not a strong enough
Yeah.
game on its own.
Yeah, but I think like it's like a chicken or the egg thing, right? Because like would have as much money and resources been poured into this game had it not been Marvel IP?
No way.
So it's like and so no way, right? So like from the get-go, this game was built and like resourced and developed with like all of that in mind, and like obviously Marvel making a giant bet with all the money they spent to develop this game and all the resources and teams and stuff like that internationally. It like this game wouldn't have even been built if it wasn't Marvel IP in the first place, if that makes sense. Like it's not even like a game that you like build and then reskin. It's like from the get-go had to be this because it wouldn't have gotten built in the first place. So to answer your question, MC Fried, that was funny what he said about you're right, Chambers. I mean, it's not, I guess Diamond is just where all the average players are.
Yeah, you had literally until you hit like GM, you have to lose like 10% more games than you win in order to not rank up. Like it's ridiculously easy to rank up in this game. So if you're stuck in bronze and you're listening to this, you are a shit gamer. You are very bad at gaming.
You're losing like 90% of your
Literally,
games.
yes. You are the
Somehow.
reason you're losing.
But like losing 90% of your games sounds so difficult. Like that sounds even impossible because like you got to be getting carried through some of those games.
I
and
know.
you're still
Well,
losing.
dude, there's one of the biggest like content creators for this game. His name's Flats. He used to do a lot of Overwatch content, and he does a thing where he lets bronze players submit their VODs of and he'll go over it, and it's always like I'm a Spider-Man main, I'm stuck in bronze. This was my best game. And you'd think this was the first game they've ever picked up in their life. Like the skill level gets like literally bot level. It's pretty gnarly.
Damn, that's amazing.
Yeah.
In terms of just overall game design, I know we're like, kind of beating the Overwatch stick, like, dead horse kind of thing. But I do want to find like ways to talk about the game design here that's like a little bit more, I guess, nuanced. Yeah. So for me, I think the game design for this game overall, like, I guess like I just want to take a step back and think about like beyond the character design, beyond like all that stuff, like the level design of these levels, I think is really cool. There's destructible environments, and I think that's like a really great, fresh new thing that I haven't seen in a long time. And then I think that some of the game modes are really solid, like King of the Hill, like Capture the Point.
Yeah.
With like how the flow works in this game is that, you basically play a best 2 out of 3, and then the point, like it's like a different level randomized out of 3 different levels that you could play on a given map.
Yeah.
I know it's like been done before. It just feels like a lot, like very smooth. It feels like the levels in this game are like all really unique and like truly like are standing up on their own. I know there's like a lot of lore behind them, but I don't know. I feel like I'm a good map is kind of like a good official in a game where like when you're not complaining about it, it's probably a pretty good map.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's every map in this game where like I haven't found any glaring problems, and it's this kind of invisible hand and this invisible like thing that's uplifting the game from the very bottom.
I want to mention too, maybe we did and I missed it somehow, but just the biggest thing that differentiates it from an Overwatch, right, is I think the team up synergies.
Yeah,
which is just, I don't know. I think it's cool when a game incentivizes you to actually play as like two specific characters for a reason, rather than just like, oh, we think this works. Like the Star-Lord and Adam Warlock thing is like so cool, or like the Groot or the Rocket Raccoon and
Yeah.
I
think that's
okay.
awesome.
I need to jump in here and I need to push back because I think that this is the meat of what I wanted to criticize was the gameplay.
Oh.
Oh yeah,
so
okay.
the whole thing.
Real quick, over the weekend on Saturday,
Yeah.
Chambers messages our group chat with like basically just a hot take coming out, because we've all been playing Marvel Rivals for the past few months, and Chambers just goes, "It's official, guys. I don't think that this game is as good as Overwatch."
I did say that.
We're like, what the fuck? And then he sends a whole paragraph. I didn't read it.
Yeah, that's
I'm not
fine.
gonna
I
read
didn't.
that. Yeah.
I just had to get that out of
No,
my
I read it.
system
I
to
read it.
somebody.
but yeah, I'll find it, and then you could start talking.
Yeah. Okay.
Cook.
So, basically, I'll start with the team ups. So I think there's a difference between cool ideas and well executed ideas, and I think that this is an instance of a cool idea that is not actually very well executed, because I look at the way games like these work. There's certain characters that are not very good. For example, Scarlet Witch is usually considered like a bottom 3 character, and people get mad when you pick her unless you're in like bronze or silver or something. And if you want to play Magneto, who's quite a good tank, one of his best abilities is locked behind a shitty character being on your team. Or if you want to play Spider-Man, one of his best power-ups is locked behind Venom, who's like a really mediocre tank. And while some of them work together for like a dive comp or certain strategies, it ends up like making certain characters worse, even though they're quite decent on their own, because they're tied to shitty team ups. And I think that it just requires for the whole cast to be balanced out more. It would require for Scarlet Witch to be a less shitty character to boost Magneto up. I mean, that I think it makes for very interesting like pro level play with bans and stuff. Like Hulk gets banned a lot because of what he does for Iron Man, who's not very good without it. That's all very interesting. I just think that as much as it boosts up interesting play at high level, it can really like deter people from using a lot of the cast because of other characters they're tied to. And this is where I go back to Overwatch and why I said what I said, because I look at that cast, which is much smaller, and how much more intentional each character was with its rollout. One, because they're not tied to an IP where you don't have to fit certain superpowers into Hulk because he's Hulk. You can create a character around the abilities and how it fits into the existing cast in something like Overwatch. And so I look at that game and I look at how each character neatly fits into different comps perfectly, even though some are better than others. And then I look at this, which feels more just like a roster of cool superheroes that have individually on their own very cool abilities and powers, but tends to get like a little lost in the sauce. And a lot of them seem to do the same thing. That's where the bulk of my criticism of this game.
Wow. It's coming out. It all came out.
Yeah.
I thought you were okay.
That's not it either.
I agree. That's not it. Okay. I actually agree with a lot of what you said,
Okay.
to be perfectly honest. Like I think back on early Overwatch and what I really, really liked about it. And I did always appreciate that like there were so many diverse characters and they all like did have like a really unique role that like this character explicitly countered this character is kind of how it felt. Like, oh, this Pharah character is really strong. I'm playing Junkrat. I literally can't hit her. So somebody needs to play Soldier 76 for the love of God.
Yeah.
Right. And like, but the problem with that though was that there was a player that just wouldn't switch to like McCree or Soldier 76. So that Pharaoh would just be able to do anything to you guys.
Yeah.
So then you felt the need to switch to a character that you didn't really main in order to counter a character on the other team that like you couldn't touch.
Yeah.
And like I do think that there's a little bit of a better balance of that in Marvel Rivals, because everyone kind of can play against most characters in an okay way. Like, I mean, unless it's like Iron Man and there's literally not a ranged character, but Iron Man's not super strong in relation. Like, he's not going to destroy you unless there's like that specific team comp that's put together to make Iron Man OP.
Okay, so
is that fair?
That's fair. I'm gonna push back again though. So
okay,
this is where the rest of my argument comes in. Okay, I'm a player that generally tries to fill to whatever the team needs. Most of the time when you play this game, there's going to be like 3 people insta-locking to whatever the DPS character they like to play as. There's always like someone who just insta-locks Magic or Punisher,
right?
Whatever, you know? And so I end up playing a lot of tank, and I end up playing a lot of strategist, which is the healer. And the tank experience in this game is truly horrible because until you get to like the higher ranks, once they see one person as tank, nobody's going to play a second tank like most games. And there's not one tank that is built to combat a flying character. Like it's a chore to take down an Iron Man or a Storm, which are very meta characters. And so you have to rely on your teammates way more in this game. And for a solo queue experience, that can really suck when people only play one character or 2 characters. And so,
but there wasn't really a way to take down a flying character in Overwatch as a tank either.
Yeah, there is. Roadhog can snatch flyers out of the...
Okay, that's one. Okay, what if you're playing Reinhardt though? What if you're playing
switch off Reinhardt? Diva can at least handle a flyer.
She could kind of, or she was kind of able to
but
do
there's
it. And it's not like
it's
not like Winston was able to do
Doctor
anything
Strange,
either.
like they have ranged attacks, right? Or
yeah, but he doesn't have any
ones.
hit scan or anything like that. He can jump up in the air, and yeah, I guess you can.
It sounds like your gripe is more specifically with the solo queue experience.
Yeah, I was gonna
versus
say
the
like
core
you're
game.
basically saying the solo queue experience sucks, but that's every game.
Did Overwatch have like force? Oh, we have to have.
They ended up having to do a
Like
force team.
It's
comp.
roll queue.
It's force team comp.
Queue.
Yeah,
Roll
okay.
queue. Yeah,
I
So-
agree that is one spot the game could be better. in
So
the
is there,
rank
if
sense.
there's a roll queue, Chambers, does this game become better? Like, is that the root of the issue? Or you're saying that the design of like the way characters interact with each other is like flawed?
A little bit of both. I think I lean towards roll queue just because I think there's certain comps that are just not actually functional. You can't run 4 DPSs or something. And
tell that to the team that fucked me up the other night.
I mean, yeah,
4 DPSs and 2 healers.
If there's a clear skill diff, of course, but over the long run, you probably have to have 1 or 2 tanks, and you probably have to have a couple healers at least. And
yeah,
the tanks specifically are really bad in this game for what I just explained. And I think that the strategist, while there's some interesting mechanics that each strategist brings to the table, the majority of them have basically the same ult in slightly different flavors. It's like a circle that heals and maybe does some damage as well. There's like 4 healers that do that. And
Jeff. Wait, no,
not
not Jeff.
Jeff.
But like Luna,
and Invisible
Woman,
Cloak and
Dagger, and then
Mantis.
Mantis has the heal, and then Rocket has like
He enables his team to do more
AoE
damage.
Yeah, it's like, but I get what you're saying. Just an AoE buff heal.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up Overwatch again. You look at their smaller roster, and each character is quite unique in their ult. Maybe it's not exciting, or it might not have always the same like skill ceiling to use, but they at least like fit together as a little puzzle, and they have their own different functions for different comps.
Yeah, but like I think okay, like I guess one example is like Mercy's ult in original Overwatch, they had to like change it because it was actually like I don't know. I feel like we're judging like a game that has been out for like a decade against a game that came out like 2 months
for
ago.
sure. Yeah.
That doesn't have roll queue yet. That doesn't have a lot of quality of life things, like bringing up the ranked issue that Abel brought up, and like you talking about how like most people that play this game are ass. Well, the game's only been out for 2 months, and how many people is this their first hero shooter?
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
So, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of like marinating that still needs to happen with this one.
Yeah.
Like, but I do think that the bones in this are still really, really good.
Totally. I'm not giving up on Marvel Rivals. I know that this is an early game, and I like I said, a lot of the ideas brought to the table, and I think that a lot of these things will get smoothed out. But
yeah.
So
your biggest issue, Chamber, with the hero synergies or team up comps was that for one character to be good, you have to use another character that might not be as good, right?
Basically,
like for Magneto to be great, someone else would that not just be balanced though at that point then too?
Yeah, like what if Venom was OP? Then
Yeah.
like there'd be no reason to ever not run Venom Spider-Man.
And frankly, I gotta
most...
say, I think people just aren't playing Scarlet Witch right because I'm putting up numbers.
yeah. I don't know. Scarlet Witch is not bottom 3 according to when Matt plays her. You know?
Yeah.
Matt is wiping silver lobbies.
But like I get what Matt is coming from though, Chambers, because like if it was the case that like Venom was better, then there's no reason to not ever run Venom Spider-Man.
Yeah.
For like every type of most dive comps, and that would suck.
Yeah.
To have to deal with every game.
No, I know, but there's so many different team ups. Like if he was just a little better, that would be nicer. Or like say like Storm, who is a fucking awesome character, like meta character, everything like that. She has a team up with Thor, but because nobody like it's not very common for there to be 2 tanks unless you're at a much higher rank. You can't solo tank with Thor, and so you basically can't ever use that team up based on you. It's just a lot more.
You just gotta play the game with
in solo
friends
queue.
more.
In solo queue, yes, yeah, but that's not everybody that's listening to this and is going to play this game has 5 friends on deck all the time too.
If you need to find 5 friends to play this game with, join our Discord. Find the link to our Discord at nextplane.live. Or name our social media handles.
I get what you're saying, Chambers, and like, you know, I empathize with people that are just trying to game on a Saturday like afternoon by themselves, and like they're going to be met with a lot of frustration because like a lot of the game that they're having to experience is like the solo queue experience.
Yeah,
and the solo
that's
queue experience
that's the most common experience.
Yeah. No, so I get what you're saying. I think like my last point, like the last thing I want to push back on is just like I don't think that the characters all fulfill as much of the same role, like in my like observation. Like I like, even though there's like more characters, I do think that like they do start fulfilling like certain niches, right? Like a DPS comp of like Winter Soldier and Star-Lord and Spider-Man like looks so different from a DPS comp of like Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch. Yeah. Actually, that sounds like ass, but like Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, and like
Mr. Fantastic.
I don't know, but Mr. Fantastic. Well, even though he's not DPS, but like
he is.
Human Torch, right? Like Fantastic is
he's not a tank, surprisingly.
What?
I know that.
Why is he so hard to fucking kill?
I know, bro. He should be an off tank, but he's actually a DPS.
Okay. Anyway, like that team comp is gonna play so much different, and like I know ultimately like a lot of these characters like they're just doing damage, and like some have more movement options or some have like a like better hit scan, you know.
Yeah.
But I do think that like they're combined with their ults and like how they're able to create space or move to the back line or dive or snipe or be a little bit more long range. I do think that there's like a lot of variety when it comes to certain team comps. And when we are actually on a team of like 5 or 6 dudes playing on a Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday night, like the team comps can shift around in really cool ways where it's like, oh, okay, like I'll run like I'll be Loki, I'll stick on Hulk, I'll stick on Chambers, who is Hulk, and like we'll tear it up like in the front.
Yeah.
And we'll like I'll have clones kind of like around the area, and we'll just like kind of live on the point basically.
Yeah.
While like Ricky, who's playing Psylocke, can like roam around quite a bit and like bother the back line quite a bit. But then obviously the other team has like team comps that they can do that like counter the Psylocke, and then now we're down 5v6 because they were able to turn on the Psylocke very easily. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that there's like a good variety. Like I hear what you're saying about Overwatch, and like maybe a smaller roster is better in the sense that like everyone's more important, and like it's like everyone has like a very specific role, whereas like a lot of the characters here in Marvel Rivals kind of do end up filling the same role. But I do think that the way the team comps play becomes very diverse and like can be very interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's like you end up with the same comps no matter what characters you pick or anything. That was more of kind of a rail against the strategist specifically. Like the DPS, there's a lot of variety of mechanics in the DPSs and the tanks, which I like.
Yeah.
Like Groot is a crazy tank, bro.
Yeah, you love Groot.
I do.
Who is your favorite hero?
I think my favorite hero to play is probably Groot. To be honest, I feel so big brain when I play him, and
You're a pretty good Groot.
Thank you.
I will say, yeah. Okay, we've been on game design for like an hour.
Sorry.
Let's dive over because we're already at an hour, boys. But let's just quickly go over a few more categories here. I think we kind of have touched on art style in a way. I'm not sure if you guys have anything else to say about this one.
Yeah.
I do feel like the screen can get a little bit cluttered at times, but that might just be the virtue of an actual
Like in game.
fighting game. Yeah.
When I first played this game, I didn't know what all these particle effects were. I was
Yeah.
like, damn, what is flying?
Yeah, there was a lot
everywhere?
of things happening.
Lots
yeah,
of track.
If there's like a rocket and like a mantis on your team with like an Iron Man, and like it's just like there's certain heroes that when like they're on your team, it's like there's just shit everywhere.
Yeah.
And like I don't know what's
There's
going on.
still stuff that I just don't know what it is.
Just like, yeah, that giant whale that came out and hit me. Like, what was
Could've
that?
been anything. Yeah.
The only thing I'll say is in terms of the art style is I really appreciate that like the designs of the characters in this one are a lot of them are intentionally very different from their MCU movie designs.
I do like that.
I think that's a great choice. That's how it's got to be. Like Captain America looks way cooler, feels cooler when in his design in this game as opposed to his movie design, and even Star-Lord is like my favorite example, because like the thing with the MCU is that all these superheroes have to look like Hollywood actors because they have to be played by Hollywood actors. But in Marvel Rivals, they can look ugly, they could look super weird.
Wolverine looks like an idiot.
Wolverine looks crazy.
Yeah.
He looks not like Wolverine. That Wolverine would never look that way in any Hollywood movie, but he can look that way in a video game. So I think that's awesome.
It's much more comic booky, just in general.
It's way more,
Yeah.
and I
It leans
like
into that
that.
well.
I like that because ultimately, like the source material is what everybody like was. It's what everybody fell in love with that made the movies great. Anyway, like the more things have deviated, I think the further we've gotten, right? But like this game kind of brings it a little bit more closer to the source material, closer to the base of the core of what we like. So I like it. I don't feel like I'm playing as Chris Pratt, and nor should I. So thank you for to NetEase for like pushing it in another direction.
Totally.
You know,
Sound design.
I could hear all these enemy footsteps, which is really sick, pretty easily. So
Yeah, sound design's pretty solid. I haven't had any complaints about being able to image where footsteps are or anything like that.
yeah, and I think the voice lines are kind of like on par with like a lot of what you come to expect in like, it's just like kind of little quips here and there, or like just a funny line between two heroes in like the pre-match lobby thing. And you know, all of the every ult just kind of becomes like an iconic sound that you end up hearing.
Also, I believe
So
different skins can affect the sound of like gunshots and stuff for characters.
oh yeah, I think
really?
that's right.
That's pretty badass.
That's right.
I've never seen that
Yeah.
before.
That they do that in League of Legends
Yeah,
too.
okay.
Like yeah, certain skins will change the sound.
I like that.
of it. What does Star-Lord say when he ults, Chambers?
Bro, I don't know. I just know when I hear it, I get mad.
It's okay. I'm actually gonna look it up because I've been curious. I wanted to ask you if you know, old like Star-Lord old voice line. Turns out he's saying
Legend Fury?
judge and jury is what he's saying. No, wait, that's
isn't
Punisher.
That's Punisher. Yeah.
Oh, he's saying Ratatouille is what somebody on
What?
Reddit is saying. He says
No way.
I think it's like Legendary or something.
maybe Tom and Jerry.
It's Legendary. It's that's
Okay.
what he's
Thanks
actually
for
saying.
listening.
It's really hard to find the answer on.
Legendary. Yeah.
It sounds like he's saying Tom and Jerry.
Yeah. Or you know what the funniest one is? Fucking Iron
What?
Fist, bro. Iron
Oh,
Fist.
okay. What is
Bro,
he?
no one
What is he
plays
saying,
Iron
Chambers?
I don't.
What? Do it. Do what he says. Do the thing that he says.
No. I'll get it canceled.
What is he actually saying though in Chinese? Can somebody
Okay.
translate?
Let me see.
I
Chi Guan Chang Kong. That's what he's saying. So it means to pierce through. Okay, Guan. Chi
Pierce the heavens,
Chi
drill
to-
through the heavens.
to pierce through. Spirit reaches the rainbow.
okay. It's probably a bad.
It's some sort of
translation.
Han Dynasty Book of Rights quote.
Okay. I do really like Hulk's "I'm hulking out." I'm
Oh yeah.
hulking out. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he said that.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty great. Other than that, I think I think that covers every
Yeah,
voice
those
line.
are-
Covers
those
every
are the
voice line in the game. We
highlights
did it.
of
Yeah.
the voice
I will say, I really just like how Jeff sounds.
Yeah.
It's just so like silly and out of place, and like I'm like, who is this character? You know, I still don't
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
still
He's
don't
definitely
really-
like the little kid character because
Yeah.
he's easy to play and sounds like a child.
Yeah. And Chambers' last note too that I put here. Do you think that Winter Soldier's again? Do you think that's as iconic as like, it's high noon?
It's
Like,
up
do you think
there.
it's gonna
It's up there.
It's gonna get up there. It's gonna crawl slowly.
Yeah, because both those voice lines, and it's the nature of like the type of character they are. When you hear them, it's like there's fear that goes throughout the enemy team.
Yeah.
Of like,
You're like, God.
is he
damn it."
above me right now? I need to duck and cover.
Yeah. It is cool when like I get like 3 ult resets with Winter Soldier and then like wipe the team and then everybody's just like, again, like in the voice
Yeah.
chat, it's like, oh, that was cool. We heard him say the line like 3 times. That was cool.
Yeah, there's times where I'm like playing tank and like holding the line, and then I hear again.
And you're like, oh
Yeah, and I'm like, oh shit,
like-
half my team is gone. Fuck. Yeah.
that's pretty good. Okay. We could skip NPC award because there's not really anything there.
Yeah.
Companion piece pick. Let's go quick on this one. Matt.
Winnie the
what do you
Pooh.
Okay, cool. I got The Mummy.
The Mummy. Was I
Yeah,
allowed to
The
pick
Mummy.
something from this IP?
Sure.
All right,
If you want.
I'll go with the first Iron.
want.
Did you pick
Easy.
Winnie the Pooh because of China?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Okay. Okay, I picked The Mummy because it's just, I don't know. I like The Mummy.
I
Classic 1999 action movie.
I picked Iron Man, the first one, because that was probably my favorite Marvel movie.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
There you go.
one of the OGs.
Pretty good. You want to elaborate on that or no time?
No, I haven't seen it in like 12 years, so it might not be that
Okay.
good if I rewatched it, but
Okay.
I remember liking
Fair
it.
enough. I'm surprised Matt didn't pick X-Men First Class.
I know you love that movie.
Seemed
Yeah,
too
but-
easy.
Yeah.
did cross
Yeah,
my
Winnie the
mind,
Pooh's
though.
different. You wanted to be different.
Yeah.
Favorite moment? I mean, just really anytime we're getting after it with the boys. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
The first time I reset Winter Soldier's ult like 3 times, 4 times, that was pretty remarkable. Felt very good.
I have a favorite moment.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I think you were
I
in
know
this
what this is
game,
gonna be.
Lucas.
Oh,
That's
when
my
Matt
favorite
fucking
moment,
killed
too.
us all?
Yes. Yeah, Matt. So
I have the clip of that. We'll have to clip
yeah, so Matt was playing Jeff the Land Shark,
that.
and
Oh my god.
Jeff can
You're making me mad, bro.
Jeff can swallow enemies and spit them off the side of the map. And Matt didn't know, or maybe I'm not sure if you knew that you can also swallow your teammates as well.
I didn't.
And so Matt swallowed like one enemy a Spider-Man, which
I have the
mind
clip.
you, if
I
you spit
found
that
it.
character out, he can just jump back onto the map and not die. And he swallowed like 3 of us of his own team, and he just took everybody down, and we all died. And this was in overtime, so we immediately lost after he did this.
Dude,
And,
yeah.
Chambers. You know what's crazy? Because I can. Chambers literally like said, because Chambers, you're actually kind of quiet when we play at night.
Yeah.
I think your wife's already
Yeah.
sleeping, but I literally, I'm just going to the edge, and I hear Chambers just whisper, "Please don't kill me." And it doesn't
Please,
even
what are you
click. I'm
doing?
like, what is he talking about? Like,
I genuinely thought I was seeing something because, like, I was like, oh, the other Jeff's name has a similar name to Matt. This is weird. Because, like, I was clearly
That's
going to
your
get thrown
name.
off the map. I was like, oh, the enemy Jeff swallowed me. And I was like, wait, the other team didn't have an enemy Jeff.
Yeah.
Wait, I think this is Matt. And, like, Matt's just silent, and he thinks he's cooking up something crazy. The stupid
bro, I
part is
thought I
that
was cooking.
as Jeff, you can spit out allies at a different with a
could've.
different button.
Yeah.
Then you could spit out enemies, but Matt just didn't. He just
Dude,
didn't know what the fuck was going on.
even after I spat everyone out too, I was like, I didn't think I grabbed that many guys.
Yep, but you
Um,
grabbed all of us. I like
took me a
literally
second to
the Matt chat blew up like within
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah, it was the best.
I was like, bro, this motherfucker just lost us the game.
Yeah.
Hell
And
yeah.
Chambers just entered the Matt chat with an emoji. I won't say what the emoji was, but
Shit.
it was crazy.
Dude, yeah. I
Yeah.
wanted to off myself.
Okay, I'll
yeah.
I'll switch my favorite moment to that one. Nitpicks. I think we've already talked through nitpicks quite a bit. Rename this game. Anybody got anything at all?
Actually, I totally forgot about this. So no.
Yeah, we don't have to. There's not really. I don't know if we could really
It's as
rename this game
basic
to
as
anything.
it can get.
Suicide Squad.
Marvel Rivals Suicide Squad. Yeah, Marvel Suicide Squad.
Marvel shooters.
There we go. Marvel shooters. Would you play other games from this developer, guys?
Oh wait, I do have one nitpick actually.
Oh, go for it. Go for it.
I mean, I do actually. Jokes aside, I think the censorship thing is really whack.
Yeah. Turns out I learned you can't say the word Hitler either.
Well, are we that upset about that one?
Depends on kind of. If you're Kanye, you're probably pretty upset about
Pretty
that.
upset. But yeah, I mean, I think it's unfortunate that there's that much censorship in the game from for things, even just mentioning certain years, right? You can't even say it, so I think that's
Crazy.
Here's
a
my
little bit of a bummer.
fix. Everybody has to use their real name, but you can say anything.
I love
That way
that.
you got to
I
stand on
fucking love
business
that.
no matter what you say.
Yeah, no, I love that. Well, but all of our names in the game are like
Each other's
real
names.
yeah. So, yeah, just for the audience out there, like our friend group, all of our Overwatch names are just each other's full names,
Like legal names.
So like Matt's name is Lucas Luna on Marvel Rivals,
And we have 2 Lucas
So-
Lunas in our friend group.
Yeah, somebody else's name is
Yeah.
also Lucas
Yeah.
Luna. My name is Ricky Inocencio. I started this trend and then everyone copied me.
Yeah.
Because
It's so
I used
confusing
to,
when I play with you guys.
I used to when I back in like high school when I'd play World of Warcraft, you could like train a pet as a hunter, and I would just name my pets after my friends, and I thought that was hilarious. So that's where
okay.
that's the origin of that idea of just
That's
like
funny.
yeah, just using your friend's full name. I don't know why it's just so funny.
Yeah.
It's like,
Hilarious.
because like the first time it happened, Ricky joined me and he's like, "Yo, what the fuck? You're using my full name?" and I'm like, "So, like, what's gonna happen actually?"
Yeah.
But like, there's
You're gonna go to
something about
jail.
seeing your name. There's something about seeing your name in public that's like freaky, but it's also like, what's somebody gonna do? Google you?
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe.
pretty great. Okay. Final conclusive thoughts. Well, let's just jump straight into the score. We've been talking through it a lot. So in a moment, we will all give our rating for the game. We will give a score from 0 to 10. We will add up those scores and average it out of 30, and that'll be the official TFP rating for this game. Boys, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
6.
8.
7.
Wow. Dang, a 6. That's low, bro.
8, 7, 6?
That's what I
All right.
gave. That's what I gave the new Call of Duty.
Oh man, you're just
It's a
You're just
hey,
a
it's a
tough critic.
fun game. It could go up for me. I know this is a live service game, so I'm giving room for improvement, but it's a fun game.
So we've given this game a 7. TFP has officially rated Marvel Rivals,
which
a
I
7.
think is where
We're-
it should be.
We're below the Metacritic score, a 74 out of 100. So
Oh shit,
we're right in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
7's very fair for this game.
I do agree. I think maybe I like it a little bit more than Chambers right now, just because I haven't played enough solo queue. But maybe if I do, I'll probably start hating
Welcome
the game.
to the suck, bro.
Yeah, the suck. Cool. That wraps it up for our Marvel Rivals formal review. Matt, if people want to debate us on these reviews or these scores, how could they do so?
Everyone can find us online at thanksforplayingpod@gmail.com. That's our email. Send us in some hate mail. You can find our Discord at thanksforplaying.live. That's our website, which you can also find a link to our YouTube and all that good stuff. Or you can find our Discord at TFP Podcast. That is at TFP Podcasts with an S at the end. Either Instagram or TikTok. Come hang out. It's a good time. You'll find the link to the Discord, link tree on any of those social media handles. Come hang out. We are constantly cooking in our Discord.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good time.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
All right, everyone. Well, this has been Thanks for Playing. Catch you next time. Skip it up.
Hey there, I'm Hugh from Podderation. If you liked today's episode, why not check out Tartan Tabletop, a D&D show as Scottish as it sounds. I won't terrify you with my attempt at a Scottish accent, but I can assure you that Tartan Tabletop is some of the funniest tabletop content you will hear all year. Find it wherever you get your podcasts.